So there's a donkey. It's called Buridan's donkey. It's hungry. 50 meters to its left there is hay, and 50 meters to the right there is an equal amount, same quality hay. But Buridan's donkey ends up starving to death because it could not choose which hay to eat first. It tilts its head to one hay, then it tilts its head to the other, then it goes back to tilting its head to the first one, and then back to the second one, and on until it dies because it never eats. This is what we call analysis paralysis. Now imagine you had Google inside your brain. You'd think, wow, that's great. But you'd never be able to take any decisions because Google has all the information. It has articles for why you should be doing one thing. It has articles for why you should be doing the exact opposite as well. It has articles for why you should go outside. It has articles also for why you should not go outside. It has opinions on why eating healthy is good and equal opposite opinions on why eating unhealthy is also good. It has reasons for and reasons against. If there are 100 paths, which path should you take? There is no reason why you should take one path instead of another, unless there is a purpose or an aim or an objective. Then you can optimize and say which of these 100 paths lead me there the fastest. But why fastest? Why not take your time? Maybe sightsee a little, check out different things. But what if you wanted both? What if you wanted fastest and take your time? Obviously that's not possible. And then you wouldn't move like Buridan's donkey. And that's probably why robots can't rule us, because, well, they have too many choices. Which should they take? There is no reason why they should take any. Ultimately, only if there's one path, then it can make a choice. And robots don't have that unless they're told what to do. But we as human beings, we choose most of our decisions towards the aim of the survival of our genes, our genetics. And that's why survival of us and reproduction becomes a very important thing. So when we come to a crossroads, unable to choose, we end up choosing because the constraints of time and death are upon us. And so we choose the best decision in order to reproduce or to make sure our genetics survive. But what does that show? Essentially, you're only capable of thinking within the box, within the boundaries, within the creative constraints. Because outside the box is everything. How can you ever choose if there is everything? Think about this. If the thing that makes it most difficult when you start writing something is the first thing to write. What is the first word you should write? Because there are thousands of possibilities. The moment you put down your pen and write one word, then you know all the things that you could add to it. Or you could also think, okay, this is not the word that I want to use, right? So the moment you put something down, then you know where to go from there. Otherwise, you're paralyzed. It's the same thing when you're painting something. The first thing that you paint is the hardest. After that, you can go on and doodle and all of that stuff. So the notions of right and wrong, good and bad, helpful and not helpful, all disappear outside the box. So there is no reason to do anything then. And therefore, ignorance or the box is the only reason why you can ever take a decision. Because you are ignorant of all other possibilities and the lack of knowledge to have the desire for those other possibilities, you can take a decision. Ignorance is also bliss, because it leaves you wide-eyed or confident. Think about SpongeBob or Patrick Star, and they're the most happy because they just do things, because they have no clue what alternatives there are in life. They don't have to make a lot of choices because they don't even know those choices exist. They don't even know what they don't even know. Because they don't know any alternative path, they don't have any choice, but they don't know that they don't even have any choice. And so they enjoy the moment to the fullest, never dreaming of doing something else or being somewhere else, because they don't even know it exists. They don't even know somewhere else or something else exists. That's also probably why monks are happy. They sit somewhere far away in the mountain, most desires, because they soon become unaware of all those alternatives one could have. And so if you don't know other choices, you don't desire them, and so you don't have expectations of how now should be, and hence you live in the moment and show gratitude for what you have. From desire comes suffering, and a sick person only wants one thing, a healthy person wants 10,000. But it also makes certain meditators a little overconfident and obnoxious, and they think they can explain everything. They live in their little bubble of ignorance. But that ignorance is also why the stupidest of your friends are the happiest, like a king in a groundnut, and probably why intelligent people tend to be the unhappiest. They know too much and they can know more, so they desire more and have more choices, and they're stuck and anxious because of analysis paralysis. And after they've made the choice, they regret it, saying they could have made some other choice. That's called the paradox of choice. Like if I gave you 2 flavors of jelly beans to choose from, you'll choose one and be happy. But if I gave you 30 flavors, you'll feel anxious while choosing. And after you've chosen one, you might regret it and wish you had chosen a different flavor. And it could be the same grape flavor that you would have chosen if you were given only 2 choices, but now it doesn't taste nearly as good because you are thinking, what if I had chosen something else? This is the paradox of choice. People want choices, but they don't want too many. There was a study where 24 different types of jams were placed together in one pile, and near it there was another pile with only six different types of jams. A large number of people were attracted to the pile with more samples. Right? You would expect that. The 24 different types, more people were attracted to it. And the amount of people that tried was equal in both piles. The piles with 6 samples and the pile with 24 samples. But when it came to deciding which pile to buy jam from, 3% wanted to buy from the pile of 24. And 30% went to buy from the pile of 6. People want choice, but not too many. Like when you are searching for a YouTube video or something on Netflix to watch, or why dating apps give too many choices and why that ruins dating or love, or because it's cognitively taxing to decide, and so people ask the waiter to recommend something on the menu. And that's also probably why people worship authority figures or God. People don't want more information, they just want to be told what to do. Just follow what God tells you to do or what the book says, and it becomes easy for you. You don't have to think, you don't have to make hard choices, just blindly follow, like a waiter recommending something. This idea of too many choices is also why more money, more problem. More fame, more problem. More intelligence, more problem. Take more intelligence. You're trying to eat an apple. If you were stupid, you would just eat the damn apple. But if you were smart, you'd ask yourself, oh, okay, how do I make sure that I enjoy this apple the most? Enjoy all the flavors that there are, because you know all those flavors exist. So you start thinking, okay, you say, let me buy the best apple there is. So you go off to search for it. Then you say, okay, I should be hungry. I should be hungry before I eat it. So you start starving yourself. Then you say, okay, I must not be stressed. So you relax before you eat the apple. Okay, let me play something soothing, some soothing music. Oh, let me do this, let me do that. And all the while, what you're trying to make a situation perfect, because you knew you had the possibility of doing so. You end up stressing yourself. You end up stressing yourself and ruining the moment, trying to make the situation perfect. Even with money, if you have a lot of it, you need to find investment destinations, because if you don't, you'll feel you're wasting it. You have to get accountants and lawyers and talk to business people and bankers. You'll have the urge to have to do more, to want to do more. And I'm guessing it's the same with fame. The more of anything you have, the harder it is to control it. Like, for example, a company that becomes too big, it becomes too difficult to control all the different parts. That is called diseconomies of scale. So how do you solve it then? You solve it by having a circle of competence, to take a phrase from the famous investor Warren Buffett. Circle of competence is identifying what you're good at and focusing on it by saying no to all other possibilities. It's like if you are playing baseball, you wait for the ball to come in the spot where you are most confident that if you swing, you will hit it well. If it comes somewhere else, in some place that you don't know that you're going to hit well, you don't swing, because if you don't swing, you don't get a strike. If you swing and you miss, then you get a strike. 3 strikes and you're out. So you wait until the ball is where that sweet spot is, where you know you can hit it, and then you hit it. And so that's circle of competence. And finally, don't get greedy, because you might lose control and probably end up becoming a dictator. Anyways, my name is Satvik and this is The Thinking Clown.